Hey everybody, namaste. Welcome to your practice. This is a 30-minute seated practice of side bends and twists. So you won't need to get up for this one. If you want a couple of blocks, sometimes those are handy, and a blanket under the hips might be good, especially if you find in your body that after you've been seated for a while, you start to get achy or tired in the low back, or the front of your hip gets a little bit tired because it's trying to hold you up. Then I would definitely recommend putting something under your hips, which I've done for myself. And then we'll start today with the legs just a little bit wide. So take some time to set that up for yourself. Doesn't matter how wide you go, what feels right for you. And then we'll begin by leaning a little bit side to side. And just introducing a little gentle movement here. And then let's start to make that into a circle. Lean forward, lean to the side, lean back. As you're circling, you can be exploring with your awareness. What do I notice? How does my body feel as I circle around? Where am I a little bit tight? Or what feels really good? Let's circle the other direction. And let that circle start to get a little smaller and a little quieter until you find yourself moving towards stillness again. And then let's just pause right here and take a moment or two. You can close your eyes if you'd like, or keep them open if you'd rather. Notice what you're feeling in your body. You can reconnect to your reasons for practicing yoga. Remind yourself that your breath is your doorway back into presence. Every breath we take, we can come back again and again to what it's like to be in your body. One or two more breaths right here. And then if the eyes are closed, you can blink them open. Let's keep the right leg long and bend your left knee. Now the sole of your left foot could come up against the right leg if you wanted it to. I'm going to leave my foot sort of more in front of my groins here so that it's not such a tight shape. And then we'll begin with a little bit of a twist. Bring your right hand to rest on the inside of the right leg and begin to turn your chest to the left. Now, rather than being a very deep twist, this is more of an opportunity to open and lengthen across the front of the chest. If you like, you can explore turning your right hand so the palm is away from the leg and the back of the right hand presses in. Lift up through the crown of the head, broaden through the chest. And then if there's any movement in the neck that you want to explore, you can do that here. Maybe a slight turn from side to side, or maybe you've got something sticky you want to work into. We'll just stay here for a few breaths, and as you stay a little longer, you may find that there's a little more movement available to you, or you may find there's something in your body that is asking for some attention. Let's take 3 last breaths right here. And then we'll come all the way back around through the center. Bring your left hand out to the left. Lean into the hand, and if it's far away for you, you can always put a block there. And now with your right arm, begin to make some big circles. Just circling around so that you notice where that line of tension is, where it feels easy and where it feels difficult. Let's circle the other way. We're starting to move into the side of the body a little bit more here. And then the next time that the arm comes up over the ear, let's stay right there. If it works in your body to come down onto the elbow, that might feel good as you lean away from that straight leg. It's okay if you want to lean forward or even back a little bit, but make sure that your neck feels stable and comfortable wherever you are. Just 3 breaths right here. If you propped yourself up on your elbow, come back onto your hand. Reach out with your right arm. Gently tug the arm away from you as though you could elongate or lengthen through the whole right side of the neck and arm. And then gently walk yourself back up through to center. Let's change legs. Straighten your left leg, bend your right knee. Make some choices about where the foot is going to be, whether you need support under a knee, under a hip, wherever it feels right. Bring your left arm to rest on the inside of your left leg. I'm going to put the back of my hand there because I like that feeling. And then turn the chest away to the right. Lift up through the crown of the head. Lightly draw the shoulder blades toward one another, just encouraging a little more of a broadening or an opening across the front of the chest. Again, as we did on the first side, if there's any stretching that the neck is looking for here, you could explore that. Any movement. Or it might feel good just to be right where you are. This won't be a very big twist, and that's okay. We want to just ease into this a little bit. Rather than cranking away at the spine, let it be a more natural and organic process. Let's come all the way back around through to center. Bring your right hand to the floor now and lean off to the right a little bit. Drop your right ear toward your shoulder and then big circles with your left arm. Now big is relative, right? So you want to move in your range of motion that doesn't hurt. And then we'll go the other direction. When you feel ready, as your arm comes up over the ear, we'll hold right there. You might bring your elbow to a block or to the floor, if that makes sense on this side. It's okay if the two sides need to be different. Three breaths. Sweep the arm away from you. Breathe as though you could breathe into the side of the neck. And then gently press yourself all the way back up and pause for a moment. Let's roll the shoulders up and back and down. Okay. Now both legs a little bit wide again. You may find that you want to bring them wider than you did before. Turn your chest to your right now. Look out over your right leg. With your left arm, your opposite arm, lift up toward the sky. Turn the chest a little bit more into a twist and now begin to reach forward as though you could intersect your arm and your leg. When you find that your spine is starting to round, let your hand drop. I don't care how far it is. In fact, it's better if it's a little closer towards you right now. Feel that you're elongating your whole spine here. You're lifting up and away. So there's no quality of rounding in the spine. Not yet, we'll get there. 2 full breaths right here. And then let's lift up through that left arm again. Bring it back by the side. And we'll transition to the second side. Right arm up. Turn, look out over your left leg. Begin to reach, take your time, maybe twist a little bit more, keeping the length in your spine until you feel like that's the right place for me to be. Then let the hand rest on the leg and stay for a few breaths. Now, as the spine is lifting up, this is not as far as you can go. We'll go a little further the next time. See if you can find that quality of liftedness in the chest. That's what we're after here. Good. Right arm up. Turn the chest, bring the right arm by the side again. As the left arm comes up now, turn the chest, maybe a little bit more toward the right leg. Reach a little further this time. It's okay if your left sitting bone gets light. Still keep some length in the chest, so you're still not rounding. We'll get there in the third round. But for now, see if you can gently pull yourself up and across toward that long leg. Breathe as though you could breathe into the outer edge of your armpit, the outer edge of your left ribs. 2 full breaths. And then bring your left arm back up. Bring the left arm by the side. As the right arm comes up, spin, turn the chest. Again, your right sitting bone could get a little light. Keep the length through the body as you reach up and over. We're still not going as far as we can go. If we were to round forward, we would reach our end range. But for now, we're still focusing on that length as we twist, and the side body pulls a little bit too as you reach with that far arm. One more breath here. Last time, windmill. Bring your right arm up. Let it go down as your left arm crosses up and over. Reach as far as you can reach this time. Hold on to the outer edge of your leg or your foot. Lift through the chest. And then let yourself fold into the thigh if that feels okay. If you'd rather stay lifted, I really like that feeling of elongating the spine and staying broad through the chest as I twist. In this position, that feels great to me. But you get to work with your body in whatever way you want to. So if it feels better just to drop in, then I want to encourage that for you. If you find that it would feel better to you to have your opposite leg bent, like if this is just too much torque right now, then please do that. Last few breaths right here. And then all the way back up. And up and over a final time to your left. You're reaching as far as you can comfortably reach, and it's fine to let the spine round. It's always fine to let the spine round, but in the first 2, we restricted that a little bit in service of something else. Last 2 breaths. And then walk yourself back up. Bring your 2 legs in front of you, and you can shake them out a little bit if you want to. And then we'll work from here. Step your right foot in. If this is where you want to stay, that's going to be a good place to work. From here, we're going to be twisting to the right. Otherwise, you might like to step your foot to the outside of the left leg. See how that feels. See that your sitting bones are still on the floor. And if it feels good in your body to bend the bottom knee as well, you'll do that. With your arm, you can gently draw the thigh across the body. Or you might bring your elbow or the arm to the outside of that thigh. Lift up through the chest and turn to your right. See if you can sense that your hips and your lower back are stable and strong, and that the twist is coming from the ribs and above. Last 2 breaths here. All the way back around through the center. And let's undo all of the legs. Always feels like there's so many legs in that pose to me. And here's the second side. Step your left foot in. You might stay here, or maybe it steps over. Or potentially you bend the bottom knee as well. Find that lift in your chest and turn. Use your hand to hug the thigh across, or bring the elbow to the outside of the thigh or knee. Remember to be in your body as best you can. So what I mean by that is, rather than thinking about now it's time to twist and just really kind of going for it, from time to time, pause to notice, how is this being experienced by my body? And do I need to change something in order for it to be more beneficial for me in this moment? Last 2 breaths. And back around to center. Uncross the legs again. Shake them out if you want. And now we'll take the legs wide one more time. Settle in again. This might feel kind of familiar because we've done it already. And then we're going to ease into this last side bend. You might want to block, you might not want to block. This is going to be an up and over to the side movement. If you find that this left leg straight doesn't feel right, you can always bend the left knee in order to make this a little more palatable to your body today. Some bodies will prefer that here. Begin by dropping your elbow towards your knee and see how that feels. And if that feels like it's not quite right, you can rest the elbow on a block. Or if you find your legs don't go very wide, you may need to take your hand to the outside of the leg instead. As you settle in here, allow the side of the body to line up with the leg and twist or turn your opposite ribs toward the sky. As you drop in, some of you will be able to comfortably drop the elbow to the floor, maybe hooking your index finger under your Achilles tendon. And then top arm, if you haven't already done so, stretches up over the ear. If you'd like, you could hold your head here. For some of us, that's going to feel really good. Or you could simply arc the arm up over the head. Or if it's in your body today to reach over and hold the outer edge of the foot, if that feels comfortable, you could do that. You may need to drop your shoulder a little further down to the inside of the leg. And then once I get that, if I get that, I like to take my right hand and bring it to the opposite hip and use the elbow as just a little bit of a lever. 2 elbows can bend away from one another if you get that far and it feels good. But remember that we're not trying to go anywhere. We're trying to cultivate presence while working with this family of postures, twists, and side bends. Last breath here. And then unwind again. Walk yourself back up. Pause for a moment. Let that settle out. And we'll transition to the other side. Elbow toward the thigh or the knee, or the hand to the floor on the inside or outside, or you use a block. It always takes me a little time to settle in here. The side of the body has a lot of really thick, tight tissue. Get where you want to go to work initially. Add the arm overhead. You can either hold the back of the head with the hand, or continue to arc the arm up and over. Or perhaps it feels good to hold on to the outer edge of the foot. If it doesn't feel good, you'll certainly know it. And if you're not able to do it, and it doesn't feel good, it's not right for you right now. The right variation of the pose is the one that suits your body as it is in this moment. Last breath or 2, wherever you are. And then take your time, we'll walk all the way back up to where we started. Settle in again. Feel the body as it is. And let's bring both legs back together in front of you. Keep your left leg long, bend your right knee. Sole of the right foot to the inner left thigh. Lift and turn the chest, twisting to your right. Bring the right hand behind you. So similar to what we just did. Use your arm as a lever to turn a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Now you could stay here, or with your back hand, your right hand, bring the hand to the floor. Put a little bend into your straight leg and press into the floor, coming up onto your knee, your foot, your hand. You can arc up and over with your left arm. Squeeze the back of the hip forward, and then settle back down and in. Come back to where we started. Change legs. Lift the chest, turn to your left. Begin by finding a twist that works for you here. I like these open twists like this because there's no potential for the inner thigh and the hip to pinch. And they tend to be pretty accessible and comfortable for most bodies. Then, if you want to stay here, you can, or left hand comes to the floor. A little bend in your straight right leg just so you can use it for leverage as you push up and stretch up and back with your top arm, extending the hips forward. 2 or 3 breaths here. Sometimes they call this stargazer. And then settle, hips right back down to the floor. Let's cross your right shin in front of your left. Lift through the heart. One more time. Twist to your right. So the last cycle of seated poses. Now, as you come into your most comfortable, deep expression of the pose, and that doesn't mean the pose is deep, it means you're settling deeply into your experience of it. With your head, turn and look over the other shoulder. And then back around through to center. Change the cross of the legs, please. If crossing the legs doesn't feel right, just work with one leg straight and the other leg bent. Lift through the chest and twist to your left. Go where you're going with it, and then look back over the opposite shoulder. Last breath here. And come all the way back around through to center, and we'll come to lie down. Almost time to rest, but not quite. Begin by straightening your left leg. Put your right foot on top of your left leg. I know that sounds funny, and you can take a look if that's confusing. But now the right foot is on top of the left leg. Left hand comes to the right thigh and draws the knee across the body. Reach through the right arm either out to the side or up by the ear. Last few moments with a twist. And then roll back onto your back. But keep the right foot on the left inner leg so that it's like you're doing a supine tree pose. Right knee is bent, left leg is straight, and the right foot is on the inner left thigh. Reach both arms up overhead, and with your right hand, hold your left wrist. Pull yourself gently up and over to the right as though you were arcing over your bent knee. If this feels good and you'd like more, you could straighten your right leg and cross your left ankle over the right ankle. Maybe even walking both feet over to the right a little bit more. Reclined half moon. Back to center. Undo the legs or the arms. And then please keep your right leg bent as you bend your left knee. Put the left foot on top of the right thigh. And allow the lower body to drop to the right for a supine twist with one straight leg. If you'd like, you can use your right hand on the outer left thigh to encourage twist, and with the left arm maybe reaching out to the left or up by the ear. Depending on where you choose to angle the arm is going to affect where the line of tension moves into the body, and you'll know what feels better. Last 2 breaths right here. And then take your time, roll back onto your back, and let your left knee fall to the left, sole of the left foot to the inner right thigh. Both arms overhead. Take your left hand, hold your right wrist, and gently tug up and over. So I'm just using my left hand as a little leverage to pull the right arm. I can even walk the shoulders a little bit to the left if I want more. Keeping the back of the right hip heavy, back of the right shoulders heavy as I do. Stay here, or you could straighten your left leg and put your right heel into the left ankle. Three full breaths. Whichever variation you've chosen to explore, maybe you've made one up for yourself. And then come all the way back to center. Untangle your legs and square off your hips again. Might feel good to rock the legs a little bit, rock the heels a little bit. Maybe roll your head gently from side to side a time or two. And then we can take a few moments, just a brief Shavasana, or if you'd like something a little bit different and you have access to a block, you might choose to rest in a supported bridge, sliding a block under the back of your pelvis. You can either keep the legs bent or explore straightening the legs out in front of you or lifting the legs into the air. This is an opportunity to allow your nervous system to settle and rest. So in whatever way you can best do that for yourself, make a choice. And we'll be here for just a few moments. I want you to remember that having tension in the body is actually a really good, healthy, and normal thing. It's tension that holds us together. From time to time, we may find that we've accumulated or holding on to more tension than we need. And it can feel really good to stretch and move that out. But tension in and of itself is not an enemy, and there's nothing wrong with you for having it. Wherever you're resting, however you're resting, feel the back of the head, and the back of the hips, and the backs of the shoulders supported, settled. Just another few breaths right here. If there's anything about the experience that feels really good to you, see if you can savor that. The moments that are pleasant or joyful or comfortable in our life so often slip by without us remembering or noticing. If you have time to stay a little bit longer, please do. If you're doing this practice with another one, or this is all the time that you have for today, then walk your feet in. If you're on a block, you can lift up through the hips, set the block off to the side. Perhaps draw the knees to the chest. Rock a little bit. And then make your way back to a seat. Pause again for a moment if you like to remember your intention, why you practice, what's important to you. And then if you like, we can close just by bowing chin toward chest. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking care of yourself, and I look forward to practicing with you again soon. Be well.